Good morning, I'm Lauri Bonnell, Director of Development for the YWCP Foundation. Welcome to the 10th Annual Leadership Breakfast. This is our first and hopefully last virtual breakfast, and I just want to thank you all for joining us this morning and for continuing to support the students of YWCP. I'd like to introduce you to today's MC, Dilana Alexander, a senior at YWCP this year.
Good morning. I'm honored to serve as the breakfast MC today. Virtual or not, the Leadership Breakfast is an extraordinary event, and this is certainly an extraordinary year. All of the students at YWCP are learning remotely full-time. YWCP has provided each and every student with a Chromebook and Wi-Fi so we can all access online learning until school reopens. When YWCP closed suddenly in March, remote learning was a challenge for me. I prefer to learn in a hands-on way, and I found it hard sometimes to stay motivated when I wasn't able to be with my teachers and classmates in person. Despite these challenges, I know it's important for us to be flexible and resilient. I'm focused on making the best of my senior year and ending my time at YWCP on a high note. I am taking AP Literature and AP Calculus. I'm continuing to participate in the YWCP Student Council, Student Ambassador Club, and the National Honor Society. And I'm really hopeful that I will get a chance to wear my Griffins jersey and play varsity basketball and softball again this year.
Dilana is an incredible example of the talent, determination, and resilience of YWCP students. Before we introduce you to other students, we want to take a brief pause to acknowledge the profound pain affecting so many families in Rochester due to systemic racism and injustice. In addition, many of our students and their families have been severely impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, from the loss of jobs, the loss of family members, to the loss of personal connections with teachers and friends. Our students have been forced to overcome some of the biggest challenges they will ever face. Please join us for a moment of silence in honor of the lives lost over the past several months, including our dear friend and board member, Suzanne Johnston. Thank you. Now I want to take a minute to thank our sponsors for supporting this virtual event. We truly consider them to be our partners in our mission. Morgan Stanley, ESL Credit Union, M&T Bank, Royal Oak Realty Trust, Wegmans, and Harder, Seacrest, and Emory. You have continued to be so generous, and we thank you. You'll also see the names and logos on the screen of other businesses and people who have supported this event. Thank you also to our friend John Blotzer at the Rochester Red Wings for creating today's honoree videos. All of these companies give back to the community in so many generous ways, and we can't thank them enough.
Today we are honoring 3 individuals who are committed to helping make our community a better place. Incredibly, all 3 are immigrants who left their home countries of India, Ghana, and Spain in search of the American dream. Each followed a path that led them to make Rochester their home, and each has given back to the Rochester community in significant ways. Before we get to the honoree awards, I want to share a story about my YWCP sister Samaya and her real-life sisters Sadia and Kamara. For the first time, all 3 are attending YWCP this year, so you can imagine there's a lot of Griffin pride in that household. Take a look.
Well, my favorite part would have to be the freedom to express my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings. I've never felt unsafe. I've never felt uncomfortable. I never felt like I was in a position where I couldn't express how I felt, or I never felt in a position where if I was ever in need of anything, if I ever need to talk to somebody, if I ever need literally anything, I felt like I could go to school and there was someone there to help me. So I'm grateful for that experience. I'm extremely grateful that my sisters get to have the same exact thing.
Hi, my name is Samaya Lee, and I'm a senior at Young Women's College Prep Charter School, where my sisters Kamara and Sadia also attend.
I love the school because academically, Samaya has just excelled at YWCP, and I just think that I can't really put my finger. I think it's because it's no boys. Me and my people talk about this all the time, but she has done such a good job. She's been there since 7th grade. And honestly, when Sadia enrolled last year, her grades through the roof. Such an improvement. And I'm just proud of all 3 of them. And this is Kamara's first year, and I hope she just has a good year too.
When school closed in the spring last year because of COVID, it was a little bit disorienting just because, well, not only just because school closed, but because pretty much everything closed. So I was in the house a lot more, and I wasn't able to go into the building, so my routine got thrown off. I had a really terrible sleep schedule for a while just because of all the time I had spent in the house. It's just getting used to a new routine so suddenly and having to do so quickly just to finish out the year was just different.
It was really like a scary time, I felt like, for me, because I've never been through a pandemic before. So to have the girls home all the time and me still have to work full time, it was very, I can't even describe like my anxiety at the time. I'm like at work, you're trying to focus on what you're doing, but you're trying to be safe also while you're at work. And then you're like, my kids are at home all day by themselves. I was nervous about it. I took off, a couple days from work just to see how it would go, if everybody was able to log on. YWCP gave us a lot of information on how to log on, what to expect, which I very much appreciated. So when it was actually time, the girls were comfortable, they were ready, they were like, Mom, I got it. I spoke to everybody's advisory teacher. They've reached out a couple days before, and that was very, very good, just to see how comfortable the girls were, how they were doing, and just to get ready for this school year.
Oh no, I'm pushing that full scale. We going all out, the big guns. None of that is changing. I can't wait to get the FAFSA done. I can't wait to do the application. I got colleges breathing down my neck, knocking on my door, emails every single day. Priority admissions, scholarship decision. I got it all packed up, ready to go. All we got to do is fill out all these forms, and I got to write my essays, and we're gonna hope for the best. And I'm just gonna finish out my year because there is nothing that is gonna stop me from doing those applications. The whole world could turn upside down and burn to a crisp, and I would still be writing essays for college. There's nothing that's gonna stop that. I'm gonna keep going.
You can support equalizing educational opportunities for students like Samaya, Sadia, and Kamara by making a donation to the YWCP Foundation. Use the donation buttons you see on the screen or text the keywords YWCP to 44321 to make a gift on your phone. And now I'd like to introduce my amazing principal, Mrs. Barbara Zelazny.
Thank you, Dailana. I am so pleased to represent our school at this year's Leadership Breakfast. At YWCP, we are promise and future focused. We believe that every child is sacred, that an excellent education is a right and not a privilege, that it is essential that all of our young women be prepared and positioned for success in life. We are guided by an essential question: how will we negotiate the divide? The divide symbolizes the challenges that some of our students face, and that's under normal circumstances. The impact of systemic racism, achievement gaps, trauma, and poverty. And then 2020 went and kicked it up a notch. Dealing with a terrifying pandemic, school closure, unemployment, businesses closing, civil unrest, political division, violence in our community, the killing of Black Americans by law enforcement, hurricanes and fires. Despite all of this, the YWCP family has managed to grow and develop in many ways. I'd like to think of YWCP as the yin to 2020's yang. Our faculty and staff have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the students, our families, and to each other. They have persisted through the unknown and uncharted territory of the spring closure and all that remote learning brought with it. Teachers learned and shared their expertise with each other. They stayed connected with their students, made themselves available morning, noon, and night. They leveraged social media for instruction and socialization. They taught math on Instagram Live, had TikTok challenges with students, and held countless one-on-one help sessions. They did home visits, delivered lawn signs, t-shirts, Chromebooks, care packages, and much more. They found creative ways to preserve traditions, like our award ceremony, senior lock-in, and graduation. It was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The passion and commitment that our faculty and staff demonstrated was fueled by the resilience of the student body. YWCP students know how to use their voices. They were patient yet demanding. They trusted us and held us accountable. YWCP Griffins are not playing around when it comes to their education. We utilized the established relationship between advisor and advisee to guarantee that every student and family had a contact person, no matter what the need. From a broken Chromebook to dealing with homelessness, we were able to respond. And not in small part due to the trusting relationships we've established with our students and families. And despite all of the challenges, YWCP ended the 2019-2020 school year with a 97% graduation rate and the lowest rate of course failures in the school's history. That did not just happen. Take Amanda Smith, for example. She's a class of 2020 graduate who faced numerous and seemingly insurmountable obstacles, but she was resilient and persisted. And now she's on her way to becoming a nurse. Take a look.
Graduation was a very hard day for me, just due to the lack of my parents being there. Both my parents passed away when I was 12 and 13. So it just made me self-reflect a lot on everything I've been through and everything I did for them, and being able to actually walk across the stage instead of having to sit behind a computer and receive my diploma was a lot. It was a lot for me to take in, but I was definitely grateful for the opportunity. My name is Amanda Smith, and I'm a graduate from YWCP. I graduated with the class of 2020. I'm now a freshman at Monroe Community College, and I'm majoring in nursing. When YWCP closed because of COVID, there was a lot of changes in my life personally, but academically it was very stressful. It was a different way of learning, a different way of interacting with your teachers. The teachers at YWCP supported me by calling me, texting me, emailing me, making sure that they were in direct contact with me, making sure I was aware of the assignments. My advisor was a huge help, just keeping connected with me despite the distance. I was going through a bunch of family issues. I didn't have a place to stay for a while. So it was difficulties with me getting a computer or me having Wi-Fi. YWCP gave me a Chromebook to use once spring ended due to COVID, and I'm still using that same exact Chromebook to help me through my courses at MCC. My goal is to enter the nursing program by next year and then graduate in 2 years from the nursing program and be able to practice as an RN and hopefully go back to school to become a CRNA, because I'm already a anesthesia technician assistant at Strong Memorial Hospital. I believe I am resilient, or have this resilience, due to just wanting better for my future. Instead of, a lot of people seem to get caught up in the moment and with everything going on, but you have to stay focused on where you want to be, who you want to be there with, and why you're doing this. So I always remind myself of why I'm getting up for work, or why I'm taking this class, or what I want to do in the future. I just want to make sure that I'm successful, that my maybe future children are successful, the people around me are successful. I just have to remind myself that this is deeper than just today, or this is deeper than just this situation. Everything going on in the world right now makes things not easier. It's very overwhelming, despite all of the Corona problems going on. We also have a lot of social injustice right here in the city. So it can be very overwhelming. It can give somebody a lot of anxiety. However, it also makes me very hopeful for a better future. And I hope that I'm active in that change.
The 2021 school year brings additional challenges. All of the learning is new. Relationships with students had not been formed yet. Personal circumstances for students and families have grown more serious. We had to reimagine again a remote learning school with higher stakes. We were again able to put a Chromebook and MiFi hotspots in the hands of our students, and we will continue to, thanks in part to a $25,000 social impact grant from the L3 Harris Foundation. With the support of the Board of Trustees, we purchased a new learning management system called Pearson Connexus, which provides high-quality curriculum and instructional materials designed for independent learning. Additionally, Adobe Live Lesson provides teachers the ability to give synchronous instruction. We have increased our outreach to families and increased home visits. We are distributing food, and we are working together to provide the very best educational possible with these circumstances. We are seeing a mounting level of fear, uncertainty, and struggles for our students and families. And despite all of this, the one thing I am certain of is that the extended YWCP family will persist. They will prop each other up, will find a way to be successful, and will embody resilience, because that is what we do. That is the YWCP way. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us this morning for what is our 10th annual Leadership Breakfast. We would like to recognize several people without whom today would not be possible. Thank you to the incredible members of the school's Board of Trustees and the Foundation's Board of Directors, past and present, whose dedicated leadership ensures YWCP's transformational community impact. And a special thank you to the care and dedication of our past school board chair, Laura Norris.
At this decade milestone, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge our profound gratitude to our YWCP founders, Laura Rebel Gross and Brooke Stafford Brizard, for their extraordinary efforts founding YWCP. Your steadfast belief that our community could affect transformational change for young women has inspired so many of us as we continue this great work. We invite those of you who are passionate about our mission to contact us for Foundation Board opportunities.
We would also like to acknowledge Principal Zelazny and all of the teachers, staff, and faculty at YWCP, and the Foundation's amazing Director of Development, Lauri, Bonnell. Their dedication and unwavering commitment is core to who we are and how we are able to affect positive radical change to one of Rochester's most complex challenges. And a final thank you to those of you in our virtual audience today who every year without fail have been part of our amazing 10-year Leadership Breakfast journey. We would not be here without your continued support of the YWCP mission. For those of you who are perhaps new to our breakfast this year, we are disappointed that you are not able to experience the incredible energy and excitement of our event in person. But I must admit that those of us on the front lines of producing the breakfast every year are a little relieved not to have had to get up at 4 a.m. to begin brewing 50 gallons of coffee.
This year's breakfast theme is Equalizing Education. Very few Americans realize how profoundly the U.S. educational system is affected by the unequal distribution of academic resources. Poor and minority students are concentrated in the least well-funded schools, most of which are located in central cities or rural areas and funded at levels substantially below those of neighboring suburban districts. Educational inequality is experienced across many domains: quality curriculum materials, educational technology such as computers and laboratory equipment, class size, teacher experience and training, and access to high-level courses and challenging curriculum.
The effects of educational inequality have been further compounded by the stresses of increasing rates of poverty and the COVID-19 pandemic. These disruptions have disproportionately impacted students who faced pre-pandemic educational and economic disparities. Remote learning has brought many complications to all students. However, YWCP parents living in poverty face the additional burden of finding childcare and compensating for the loss of school meals.
Educational equality is central to the fight for racial justice and equity in our country. The YWCP Annual Leadership Breakfast critically supports educational equality through access, equity, and opportunity, educational technology and college preparatory curriculum, college readiness, career awareness, and leadership skill development programs. This year, our fundraising importantly includes support for remote learning software to ensure that our students have access to asynchronous learning modules to accommodate their household responsibilities during this time of economic stress.
Over 90% of YWCP's 7th grade class enters our classrooms with significant academic deficits. While school administrators and teachers work to identify and deliver curricular needs to bridge this initial educational gap, the YWCP Foundation ensures that every student has access to critical opportunities encompassing skill preparation, exposure to careers and colleges, and leadership, personal and social development. The culmination of our dynamic partnership is best illustrated by the 96 to 98% graduation rates of our 3 senior classes, with 76% of these students now enrolled in college.
At YWCP, every student is the leader of her future and is given access to every academic resource they deserve. Class of 2020 graduate Jaide Valdez is a perfect example of what our students can achieve when they have the resources, the opportunities, and the determination to succeed.
For 4 years, we've been telling each other like, oh, we're going to graduate, we're going to go to college. And like, we're going to college. And it's like this crazy feeling of knowing that some of our parents didn't go to college, some of our brothers, cousins didn't go to college, but now here we are. We want to make a change and we want to do better for our lives and maybe help our family as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Jaide Valdez. I'm a 2020 graduate of YWCP and now I'm a freshman at the University at Buffalo where I study political science and pre-law.
So far, my college experience has been different. I wasn't expecting this at all. Most of my classes are online, but then I also have one in person and one that's hybrid, which means I can go in person or online.
I'm taking a law seminar. I'm also taking an Intro to American Politics class, which is my favorite class, of course. I'm a political science major. And then I'm taking an Intro to Gender and Women's Studies, which I love and I actually picked because when I was in YWCP, we had a women's studies class and I loved it and I wanted to see the college perspective of it. And it's totally different. I think it was a week before or that weekend that you gave me the call and you told me that I got the Summers Foundation scholarship, and I literally didn't know what to say because I was this close to not coming to UB, which is crazy because as soon as I came for the tour, I knew that this was the school that I wanted to come to. Like I still sometimes I can't believe it that I'm here. Like when I'm walking to class, I'm like, oh wow, I'm really here. Like it feels crazy, but I'm lucky. Like my mom tells me every day that you're lucky that you're in this position, and I am. I moved here when I was 8 years old with my mom. I was born in the Dominican Republic. Like, I love the Dominican Republic, but there's not really a lot of opportunities there. What I want to do with political science and pre-law is I want to be a human rights lawyer and hopefully someday work for the United Nations. And after I work for the United Nations for a while, I want to run for Congress. That's like my main goal and where I want to end up in life. And I can't be president because I wasn't born here, but if I was able to, I would have probably ran for president. But maybe one day someone will change the law where someone that wasn't born in the US can become president. But yeah.
Our goal today is to raise $70,000 to support technology for students, college visits when campuses reopen, career exploration programs, and mentoring for our alumni to ensure that they thrive in higher education and graduate prepared for a career. We are asking each person watching today to make a gift. There are donation buttons on the screen, and you may also text the keyword YWCP to 44321 using your own mobile device.
You'll immediately receive a text reply with a link to our donation page. This is a safe and secure way to make a gift, and you can watch the gift total rise in real time throughout today's event. When you make your gift, it will appear on the screen unless you choose to remain anonymous. Thank you for your belief in the transformative impact of educational equality.
Now to begin the girl-powered portion of our program, I would like to welcome my YWCP sister, Erica McKenzie, to introduce our first honoree.
Good morning, my name is Erica McKenzie. I'm a senior at YWCP. Like our first honoree, I had to overcome many challenges in my life. My father passed away when I was in 4th grade and I missed a lot of school that year. With my family's support, I was able to get back on track. I am really excited to be a senior this year, even though it's anything but your typical senior year of high school. It can be challenging to do online school at home with twin 7-year-old sisters, but we're making it happen. My mom has always encouraged me to focus on my education and all the new opportunities it can bring me. One such opportunity is having the chance to interview Sitima Fowler, a founder and vice president of marketing for Iconic IT. Her journey really inspired me as she boldly changed her career from engineering to business. Ms. Fowler does not back down from a challenge. Take a look at how she guided Iconic IT in the face of the coronavirus pandemic. When schools and businesses shut down in March due to COVID-19, one local tech company took action, helping other small businesses take their work online and their employees stay connected. Iconic IT provides managed IT support for small businesses. They ensure that computer systems are functioning, data is secure, and companies are planning for technological growth. Sitima Fowler is a founder and the vice president of marketing. It's her job to help the company grow, even during a pandemic. I asked her how COVID impacted her business.
So in the beginning, it was, none of us knew what was happening. All we knew were all our clients, and including ourselves, we are going to be working from home. So we, luckily for Iconic IT, because we were a technology company, we were already used to working from home. All our employees had everything set up. We're all in the cloud. It was easy. But some of our clients did not. So we had to migrate everybody to work from home. So we had to get everything from their on-site building and helping them transition. After that period was over, then we started noticing, oh my gosh, look at all the cybersecurity threats that are coming where the bad guys are targeting that situation, because sometimes some people work from home and they're using their home computers that may not be very secure. So now we have to teach and educate our clients on that. But the cool part is that we're looking at the opportunity. No matter who you are, what business you have currently, we all know that this pandemic has changed how we work, how we interact with each other. So we're going to emerge out of this, whether we're going to emerge out of this in 3 months, 6 months, or a year, it doesn't matter. we're going to emerge somehow differently. So we're trying to look at what are the opportunities? How can we change? And there's this thing called digital transformation, which is the way we work prior to the pandemic was so different than the way we're working now. Like think about this meeting would have been like, you would have been interviewing me in my office, right? So now we're doing it over Zoom.
Yeah, that's good. You're still staying positive throughout this whole thing. That's really good.
Ms. Fowler grew up in India and moved to the United States in the 6th grade. She said it was a difficult adjustment in the beginning because even though she spoke English, she had an accent and the kids at school were mean to her.
So we didn't have much money, but one of the things that we used to love is once a month we used to go to McDonald's for lunch, and that was our big night out. And we used to buy one of those small package of fries, like the ones that comes in the white packet, not the big red one. And it was a small fries, and we used to split it with the 4 of us, my parents, my brother, and me. And one day I looked over and there was a man that basically was having a whole large supersized fries all by himself. And it kind of like changed my perspective, like what you have in your current surroundings, whether it's your family or your neighborhood, doesn't have to define who you are. There's a great, big, abundant world out there. So my whole thing has been, I can have the large fries too. So I've always set big expectations like that I can achieve more. And that's how I've kind of let it. So I actually got my degree in electrical engineering, and then I moved to Rochester, New York, and I was working at Xerox, and I loved Xerox. And then there was a portion of me that I just wanted to always have my own business. And so that's when I got into the business world.
That's amazing. We're very similar because I've always wanted to do business too. I never was really interested in medical or anything else. It was more like business, just selling things to people. I don't know why it was just a passion for me. So I was really excited to interview you because I think we have a lot in common when it comes to the business and major. So you said that you love failure. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so I would say of every 10 things that I try, I fail 9 of those times. But that one time I succeed, it moves me forward so much. And the reason I succeed that time is because of the 9 failures. So my thing is always be moving forward, and it's okay to fail because you're going to learn from each of those failures way more than the successes.
I love your positivity. You really are inspiring me. Thank you so much for the advice that you've given me and, just participating in the interview.
My pleasure, Erica. Thank you. And you're so wonderful. I wish you lots of success yourself.
Thank you.
I would like to thank Ms. Fowler for her passion and for inspiring me to rise above my challenges. Thank you. I would now like to introduce my YWCP sister, AASHA ROUSE-LOVEJOY, to tell us about our second honoree.
Good morning, everyone. My name is AASHA ROUSE-LOVEJOY, and I am also a senior at YWCP. In February, before COVID-19 hit, I visited 2 historically Black college campuses, Spelman and Clark Atlanta University, and I really liked them both. But I'm still exploring my options, although my family is encouraging me to become a lawyer. I'm really interested in medicine and helping others. That's why I was so excited to meet Dr. Angela Branche, an infectious disease specialist at the University of Rochester Medical Center. Dr. Branche and her team of researchers play a critical role in the fight against COVID-19, which has disproportionately impacted communities of color. Take a look. The University of Rochester Medical Center is home to more than 3,000 people dedicated to scientific research studying common and rare illnesses from cancer to influenza. These efforts have led to therapies that have saved countless lives and improved human health locally and across the globe. Now, researchers there are working on the forefront of the coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Angela Branche is an infectious disease specialist who is leading the clinical trials in Rochester to find a vaccine. I had the chance to meet her to hear about her work and how she's helping keep Rochester safe.
Yeah, so this all started for us in January. January 20th, we were at the NIH, National Institute of Health, in Maryland. And this was one of our first meetings of the year because we're part of a national group that studies vaccines and treatments and infections in general and tries to move the science forward and make medicine better. And so at our first meeting, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is one of the leaders of the NIH, comes into the room and he says, so have you guys heard of COVID-19, the coronavirus coming out of China? And he said, I think this is going to be a real problem for our country and for the world. And so the first thing I want this group to do is to start getting ready and mobilizing your forces to start studying this virus and start helping to develop treatments and vaccines.
Dr. Branche told me that the first case of COVID-19 was diagnosed in the United States later that night. So her and her team immediately began working on possible treatments.
We were part of the group that found the first treatment for COVID-19 at the end of April, which was really neat because we were able to give those to some of our patients here at Strong and watch them recover partially because they were able to get this treatment. And now we've shifted focus a little bit and we're trying to develop a vaccine. So we're conducting large trials, some of them here in Rochester. We're going to enroll a couple of thousand people over the next few months, and we're going to vaccinate them, and then we're going to follow them to see if the vaccine prevents them from getting COVID-19. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have some data that shows us that one of these vaccines actually works. And then the real work starts, which is going out into community, door to door, and trying to convince people to get vaccinated so our Rochester's safe.
How has COVID impacted your family?
Well, a lot. I'm a Black woman and I have a very large Black family. Most of them live in New Jersey. And in March, just as we started to test new treatments and drugs to help treat people with COVID, my uncle got sick and he ended up in a hospital and he ended up on a ventilator and he died within a month of being hospitalized. And that was really hard. He was 64.
How does what happens to your family impact how you're working on COVID-19?
I think this is a very personal battle for me. I just saw a study that said if there was a vaccine, less than 50% of people would actually get it. And I think that's really true of the Black community. I hear a lot from Black friends and other people in the community that, I'm not going to get that vaccine. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be a guinea pig. And I think, wow, Black people are dying at 3 times the rate of white people from COVID. They're being infected at 6 times the rate. They're being hospitalized at 5 times the rate. How are they going to refuse something that could save their lives and save the lives of their family? And so it's just become sort of a personal mission to me to make sure that we have a vaccine and to make sure that everybody in my family gets the vaccine and everybody in your family too, if I can.
Do you have any advice for YWCP students?
Yeah, I really hope that you guys value the opportunities that you have. I really hope that you don't sell yourself short, that you are able to take away from these 4 years a sense that anything is possible, that you're smart enough and strong enough and motivated enough to do anything you want to do. And I hope that the things that you want to do aren't small. Like, don't let them be small, like make them big. And whenever you reach a goal, pick a bigger one.
I'm honored to present Dr. Branche with this year's YWCP Leadership Award for her service and dedication to making Rochester and our whole country a healthier and safer place. Thank you. And now my YWCP sister, GAMILA, SALEH, will introduce the man we love.
Good morning, everyone. I'm GAMILA SALEH, a junior at YWCP. I have a few things in common with this year's men we love. Besides our passion for the Real Madrid soccer team, I, too, was not born in the United States. My parents brought me and my siblings to Rochester from Yemen. When I was 7 years old, I learned English quickly. but it was an easy adjustment. I also share a career interest in civil engineering and hope to get a chance to explore the field more before my senior year. I was honored to get the chance to sit down with Sergio Esteban to hear about what he and his company LaBella Associates do to encourage and support students like me who are interested in careers in architecture or engineering. Take a look. When you drive around Rochester, it's easy to see the impact that Sergio Esteban and others at LaBella Associates have had on our community, from the new Midtown Tower to the MCC downtown campus. But what you don't see is how LaBella is helping high school students design a pathway to explore careers in architecture, engineering, and construction, and creating a culture of giving back. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Esteban, and he told me what makes LaBella Associates stand out from the rest.
Well, LaBella is a very special company, and obviously I may sound biased, and probably I am, but it is a very, very, very special company. When I joined the company was starting, it was 9 people. Now I used to ask the number yesterday, as a matter of fact. We have 980 people, okay? So we have multiplied by 100, okay? And so it is very special, not only because of how many people and how much growth and success we had. It's because our culture is very, very strong and our values are very, very strong.
In fact, LaBella has been certified as a great place to work for its culture of teamwork and respect.
We say in our company, we don't have titles, we have functions. But also one thing that is very deep into our culture is a sense of commitment to the community where we are. We feel that we have a responsibility to give back and support our community in the communities where we are, not only Rochester, all the places where we are. So we have a tremendous amount of volunteer work, especially in areas of education, many charitable contributions, boards. So we are a very engaged company in the community.
So how did coronavirus impact your company?
Well, it impacted us in many, many different ways. In this building where we are right now, usually we have between 400 and 450 people. I would be surprised if today there's more than 15 people here. We have adapted to work virtually, like you have in school. And we have been successful at doing that, but I cannot wait to come back.
LaBella participates in a number of initiatives to encourage girls like me to enter the fields of architecture and engineering.
But the way we encourage that, we participate in a number of initiatives. One is the ACE program, ACE, which is a program that we started, our company started, now is shared by other companies, where we take high school students and we expose them to what engineering and architecture is all about. So they come to this office and then also to other companies' offices, other construction and engineering architectural companies. And we have a curriculum that they go through after hours where they learn aspects of engineering or architecture. And then actually they build then houses, houses that then we auction, and the money goes for the ACE program and to help to reach out more and more students. So that is one example, and we have several of those.
So how did you know that you wanted to go to college? Who talked to you about it?
Well, my parents, my father didn't go to college, even though his father wanted him to go to college, but he didn't go. So right from the beginning, he instilled in us the importance of going to college. So for me, it was not an option. I knew that I was going to go because since I was little, I was told that that's what I needed to do. So I was born in a village. I'm in Madrid. Madrid is the capital of Spain, so I was born in a village north of Madrid. It's a small town, about 3,000 people. I was born there, but we moved to Madrid because my father wanted us to get an education in Madrid, access to better schools, so on and so forth anyway. But my brothers and I, it was 4 brothers, 4 of us, we were the first students from that village that actually went to college.
So thank you for your time, and it was really helpful today. Yeah.
Well,
That was very
that,
encouraging.
I'm glad that we met, and I wish you well. And it looks like you have a good ideas of what you want to do. So just stay on course.
Thank you.
Very good.
I would like to thank Mr. Esteban for his commitment to serving others and giving back. Thank you.
You can help ensure that every YWCP student has the tools and support they need to overcome challenges in their life and stay on track to achieve their goals. Every gift made today will support the programs that increase our students' abilities to thrive and succeed in high school, college, and beyond. Please use the donor buttons on the screen, or if you prefer to make a gift online, you can text the keyword YWCP to 44321. But most importantly, make a gift. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Thank you again for joining me and my sisters and the rest of the YWCP family today. We are in awe of the support that you have provided for our school, and we hope to see you in person next year.